Shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Yeah. So we're gonna get the morning prayer started. I didn't hear a lot. But so we're gonna get the morning prayer started. As soon as the brother gets up here, after he's fixing the phone. So he was trying to work through some technical difficulties. It's good. Wait, it's sour? She got it.
I just like troubleshooting stuff. You probably should face it to them from all the distraction.
Yeah, so he's just working through some technical difficulties, trying to fix the internet.
Oh yeah, it's definitely wiggling. Oh, you know what?
Adjusting the camera.
It's gonna be a little crazy. We gotta make it tighter.
Okay.
Oh.
Sorry. Here, grab it. Okay, put it like this. No, the other way. Face the screen that way. Yeah. Done.
Like that?
Yeah. That's good. How y'all look?
Won't that problem be in there?
No, your camera is not covered. So.
Oh, I'm tripping.
I know, I do the same thing. How's that? Forward?
That's good. That's wow.
Trying to reach.
What does that look like? Let me see.
Andrew.
Wait, there's another extension right there, the white one.
No, that's not.
Oh, no?
That cord? To the camera?
Oh, yeah. This is hooked to...
That?
No, this is to the back. Oh, wait. This one?
So you got it.
We just gotta remember to put it back over here.
Okay.
Let me see your cord. Yeah, let's test this out.
Okay. Ready? Give 2 seconds, so he's waiting for the brother to grab his phone. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh. Ba'asham Yahushai. Ahawah. Natananahu. Award. Sayawam. Tawara. Aman.
Bless you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives to us the light this day. Thanks, so be it. And that light represents the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You can read that in Matthew chapter 5, verse 16.
Barakatah Yahweh. Ba'asham Yahushai. Ahawah. Natananahu. Rayah. Nayakakah. Tawara. Aman.
Let's bless you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives to us the sweet savor. Thanks, so be it. And that sweet savor represents our prayers going up to the Most High. You can read that in Psalms 141, verse 1 and verse 2.
I imagine when you had Jerusalem.
Stand and face Jerusalem.
Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushai. Kahawah. B'Talanawa. Hashabat. Ba'Shalom. Tawada. Aman.
Bless you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, that gives to us the Sabbath and peace. Give thanks, so be it.
This is Psalms 121. Anasha. Hallelujah. Al. Hahayam. Naaya. Yabu'a. Isaiah. Yabu'a. Mayahawa. Sha'isha. Shemaiah. Wa'arataza. La'a. Jonathan. Number what? Regolia. Gala'a. The one. Teshalamar. Yasser Allah. Yahweh. Shemaiah. Yahweh. Tezoya. Al. Yadudai. Hashemash. Gala'a. Hakaya. Bayawam. Wala'a. Halabana. Balayala. Yahweh. Yashemaiah. Rakol. Rai. Yashemar. Napasha. Yahweh. Yashemar. Hawalakia. Yahweh. Yashemar. Hawalakia. Wawa'aya. Ma'aitan. Wa'ai. Aiwalam. Aman.
This is Psalms 121. I will lift up my eyes into the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Amen.
Shema Yisrael. Yahweh Eloheinu. Yahweh Echad. Shema Yisrael. Yahweh Eloheinu. Yahweh Echad. Shema Yisrael. Yahweh Eloheinu. Yahweh Echad.
Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord.
This is the Lord's Prayer. Amanaw. Shema. Kodash. Haya. Shemka. Yahweh. Malakwaka. Taba'a. Batazaka. Haya. Aisha. Ba'arataza. Kawa. Haya. Bashemaya. Betalanawa. Lacham. Ko. Yawam. Wasalaknawa. Kabawaknawa. Pasalak, you know. Oh, Salaki. We're going to start from the top. Amanaw. Shemaya. Kodash. Haya. Shemka. Yahweh. Malakwaka. Taba'a. Batazaka. Haya. Aisha. Ba'arataza. Kawa. Haya. Bashemaya. Betalanawa. Lacham. Ko. Yawam. Wasalaknawa. Kabawaknawa. Kasalaknawa. Kabawak Yenawa. Wala'a. Tabinawa. What is say one? Abo. Hawashaynawa. Mayam. Rai. Kaya. Laka. Hamalakwa. Wa'ala. Wa'ada Parak. La'aiwalamyam. Aman.
This is Matthew chapter 6 and verse 9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
This is the Ten Commandments. Number 1. La'a. Yahaya. Laka. Alahayim. Acharim. Alpanya.
Thou shalt have no other power before me.
Number 2. La'a. Aisha. Laka. Pasol. Wala'a. Ta'ai Badam.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image.
Number 3, La'a, La'a, Shah, Yahweh, Bashawa.
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain.
Number 4, Zakar, Hayawan, Hashabat, Lakodashwa.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Number 5, Kabad, Abaka, Wa, Amaka.
Honor thy father and thy mother.
Number 6, La'a, Taratazak.
Thou shalt not kill.
Number 7, La'a, Tara'at.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Number 8, La'a, Tagadam.
Thou shalt not steal.
Number 9, La'a, Ta'ina, Shakur.
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
Number 10, La'a, Takamat, Kol, Asherah, Lara'aika.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Yeshava, which means be secret.
Asa Shabbat Shah, Rabban Ban Yashala.
Asa Sabbath Rabban Ban Yashal, men of Israel, Elijah, Barak,
Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatham.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah.
So the reading going to start at Exodus chapter 21, verses 1 through 21. So it's going to start at Exodus chapter 21, verses 1 through 21 for the first reader.
Exodus chapter 21 and verse 1. Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them.
Yeah, so now you have to be in the mind of understanding that now we're going to get some understanding on how we behave, what was right and what was wrong. Because, you know, the scriptures basically gives us what's clean. It gives us what's clean and what's unclean. What's lawful to do and what's not lawful to do. Right? Just dealing with beef, dealing with nations. And now we're going to talk about a little bit about ourselves. How we do it ourselves, because as we know, we're very rough. Right? So I ain't going to jump on top of it, but I'm going to let the verse speak for itself. So, go on.
It says, if thou abide in the Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve, and in the 7th he shall go out free for nothing.
Yeah, so, and then, of course, we know we didn't enslave our people.
Right.
So this ain't talking about us enslaving. This wasn't a slave. This is somebody that was hired, and they're doing a job, right? And they're working. But this person was working for a certain amount of years. So this person was supposed to be a servant. He was doing it for a certain amount of years. So we read that it's 6 years, right? And in 7. 6 years shall he serve, and in the 7th he shall go out free for nothing, meaning that you can't hold nothing against him. Right? You can't try to like you said, but you owe me. But you owe me, brother. Think about the last year, man. I know you've been working 6 years diligently, but what about that 7th year? When I lent you that car, when I give you that car when your family needed it, but you might as well do another year. So the dude, you can't try to what's the word I'm looking for? Swindle them. Yeah, you can't try to swindle them because that's your brother. But when you see why that's so important that the Most High wrote that down is because we think about it, we're fresh from Egypt, we fresh coming from slavery, we fresh coming from, because think about it, Go to Psalms 106 and 35. This is what happened to us when we was coming out of Egypt. When we were in Egypt, and as we're coming out of Egypt, we have these behavior characteristics. Go ahead, read that.
Psalm chapter 106, verse 35.
Everybody there? Go ahead.
But were mingled among the heathen.
So we were mingled among the heathen, right? And in that mingling, what happened?
And learned their works.
And so now we learn how to deal like them, right? How to act like them, how to treat people like them, right? How to communicate to people like them, right? Think about it, and just even in a relationship aspect. A woman don't know how to communicate to her husband. A husband don't really know how to communicate to his wife, right? A brother don't know how to communicate to his brother. Siblings don't know how to communicate to one another. They don't know how to deal like justly. Nobody knows about how to deal justly with their people, with their brother, their family, or just individuals that they cross paths with. Nobody knows about that. So the Most High has to make us take note of that. Listen, He has to make us take note of that you learn habits, bad habits, a lot of bad habits from the nation. And now I'm trying to teach you how to cleanse yourself. I'm trying to teach you how to actually look at things differently, opposed to what you learned. Because the way you learned it taught you how to be a beast. It taught you how to be mean. It taught you how to be rude, selfish, right? It just taught you how to give it to your flesh. Think about it. Nobody's ever quick to forgive. Nobody's ever quick to forgive. So if nobody's ever quick to forgive, what's the issue? Go ahead.
I would say they're holding grudges.
They're holding grudges, but they're holding grudges because they don't know about these. You would think that somebody would think to forgive, but that's not the natural thought process. But they're not thinking about these laws. Because everything that we learn from the heathen. And the heathen is not about forgiving. As much as these folks try to make it seem like they're about forgiving, they still hunt Nazi Germans. So they're not about forgiving. So what I'm saying is this, that we learned a lot of bad habits from the nation. And we learned a lot of bad ways of thinking, like holding grudges, right? And just being bitter, being angry, being selfish, and mistreating your people. So this law has to be written down, and it's like read the first verse.
Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them.
And the Most High made sure that Moses wrote these judgments down because he wanted the people to be able to study it. Because, like we was talking about last night, your mind is going through a whole cleansing process. Our minds, our spirits going through a whole cleansing process. So we need this so that we can be able to discern how to deal in certain situations. Go ahead, Saint.
But were mingled among the heathen and learned their works.
And so now we're having to separate ourselves from their works. Now we're learning how to separate. Just like they were back then in Egypt, we're learning that right now as well in our time period. So it says, so we're going to go back to the reading now.
Verse 2. If thou buy a Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve, and in the 7th he shall go out free for nothing.
Yeah.
And I want to point this out as well too. Ezekiel 44 and verse 23. Just to set everybody in the tone of what we're reading and the process of what we're going through. You know, because we're going through that same process that they were going through in Exodus. So we're living the same cleansing process they're going through. We're going through it right now. So, but the thing is, now we already got the word written down, and the word's been around us. We just didn't know it in its true form. So now we have to understand how to discern the word. So read that.
Ezekiel chapter 44, verse 23. And they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and profane.
And this is what the class is for. This is what all the class is for when you're in class, right? We call it zones, right? You got the street speaking, the flyers, the Hebrew Academy, the workouts, the sister readings, the garments, the sewing, all those things are set up so that you can learn about how to deal amongst your people. And that's what these laws are about to go into, is like how to deal amongst your people. But we're going to be teaching and learning how to discern what?
The difference between the holy and profane.
What's righteous, what's righteous and what's unrighteous. Read.
And cause them to discern between the unclean and the clean.
And so now we're going to know what's right and we're going to know what's wrong. That's what it means by what's clean and unclean. literally, but then also in the sense of how you think and process and perceive your mentality. So it's telling you, you know why that's so important? Because the Bible is telling you how to approach life. It's telling you how to approach life and how to approach situations and how to put your emotions to the side and how to feel like a godly woman and a godly man. And so that's what we're going to be reading into as far as these laws. So I just wanted to set that tone with that, so that as you read it, you're not just missing the whole gist of what you're supposed to be grabbing.
Somebody get Proverbs 3 and 31. This, like the brother was saying, it's very important to take the Sabbath classes very seriously, because you want to use the stories. The scriptures say that things are written for time, but written for our learning. So we want to use our forefathers, our foremothers as a mirror to judge ourselves, to see if we're moving the same way they move, in righteousness or in unrighteousness. Read that.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31.
Right.
Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Right, so the beautiful thing about listening and reading the stories from the past, we know during this time we were being freed from our oppressors, the Egyptians. Right? Who's our oppressor today? Esau. Right. Here in America, we're under the Edomite captivity. They're our oppressors. And who taught us how to think? Who taught you what it is to be a man? America. The same people that oppressed our people taught you is where you got your idea of what's correct to be a father, a husband, a wife, a mother. But does that match up with what the Most High established? See, and that's why we have to go through this reading to really see and examine ourselves, to see if we're moving in the faith, if we're moving according to the standards of the Most High, so that we can rebuild our nation, rebuild our mind, and get that protection from the Most High.
Yeah. No, that's I like the way he said it, because it's true. You know, you have to be conscious of what information you're taking in, because we was talking about yesterday. Just reiterating again, we was talking about it yesterday, just about like studying and reading and why that's so crucial, that like you take your time to take in the information when you are reading, because you can read like 5-6 chapters between and nothing from it, but you slow down and you read that one chapter and you look at the definitions, right? You get the understanding of what you're reading. You take the time to understand the precept that you're putting together, the reading, you're breaking it down to yourself. That you'll get so much the more information from that, so much the more you'll be so much the more fed from that, because it's clearing your mind out on something that you like fully grasp. You could be reading you can read one line on a verse, and that'll take you a whole 2 hours, because you're dissecting the verse.
Right.
And because the purpose of dissecting that verse in the Bible is literally so that you can clean your thoughts out. So it's literally like, you know how they in New York, because it's cold, they shoveling snow out the way to clear the path so that you can walk. It's the same thing in your mind. You clearing the path in your brain so that the Most High can come in, so that the Holy Spirit can dwell in you. And that's what's going on as we read these stories. What happened, Arian?
Hey, can we go back to Psalms 106?
Go ahead.
You know what we're talking about. It's beautiful how you pulled it. We got Psalms 106, verse 36. It says, "They have served their idols, which were snares unto them. Yea, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils, and shed innocent blood, and even the blood of their sons and of their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan. And the land was polluted with blood." So it's showing like this was our custom, being in Egypt for so long. We acted like the Egyptians. We partook in all their debauchery, right? Same with Americans. You call yourself Black, Latino, Puerto Rican, Colombian. You call yourself these things, right? Native Americans, and now we identify as being an American Black person or an American Latino person. And we partake in all these debaucheries that's in America right now.
Yeah.
That's going on. Right?
Yeah.
Like we don't literally put our kids to the burner, right?
Right.
What do? We subject them to Instagram, social media, right? All these popular things, the fads, and the music on the radio stations, all these things that now we sacrifice their innocence, their pure way of living to the Most High, right?
Yeah.
So,
No, like, you know, this what you're saying, what Paul's saying, is powerful. So I hope it's not going over nobody's head, because right now what you're doing is you're literally finding out how to clear your mind out. Like how to literally think like a Hebrew. You know, you gotta, cause you don't want to read the Bible like an American. You want to read the Bible with a Hebrew mind, but the Hebrew mind is giving it to you right here when you read the law. It gives you the Hebrew behavior characteristics, the behavior traits, excuse me, right? It's telling you how to behave, how to think, how to walk. But we're going to go back to that.
Exodus chapter 21 and verse 3. If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him.
Right. So this man that he was working for, you can't take what's his. You can't steal. You can't take what's his. First of all, that's adultery if he was trying to take this man's wife, right? But whatever he came with, he's gonna leave with. So it's telling us how to deal with each other justly. It's telling us how to go to Tobit chapter 4 and verse 6. Go to Tobit chapter 4 and verse 6. Just on what the Most High is showing us, or just about why it's important to deal correctly, right? Because think about it. That's you're gonna be sinning if you mess with another man's wife, right? That's a straight out sin. But then how much more? Let's take it away from the wife thing. You taking things from this man who came in. You knew he's coming for work. So obviously you don't have nothing. So the little that he came with, you gonna even take that? That's a blue beast. But the Most High is trying to show us something about what's so important about this moment, right? And what's so important about dealing the correct way. Read.
Tobit chapter 4 and verse 6. For if thou deal truly, thy doings shall prosperously succeed to thee.
You see that? And what he's showing us, he's teaching us in this moment, in these little increment moments, that how to deal truly. Like this man came in for work, or this woman came in for work, right? And they came in with little. But then now you taking even just the little that they have. That's not a righteous man. That's not a godly man. But he's showing us that we're learning how to actually deal correctly. Because what do we used to do to each other when, let's say somebody used to stay, you let somebody stay in your crib in the world, like, well, no. People definitely went to the hospital when they were like, heck no.
What y'all doing?
when y'all leaving? That's how people were in the world. Like, when you leaving?
Oh man.
Bro, you gonna just drink my juice?
That's
Like, bro, nah, if you drink my juice, bro, nah, listen, you gonna have to give me the Nikes, bro. You have to give me the Nikes. Nah, bro, nah, you have to, bro, when you get paid? How much you get paid?
That's the worst one right there.
That's the worst one. That's when it's like extreme. Huh?
Stuff going up.
Yes. They start really being beastly with you. But it's showing us right here in that verse 3. It says, if he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. So that this man, you can't take nothing from this man. But it's teaching the hirer, the one that hired this man for this job, how to behave so that he can keep his spirit pure. But it's also keeping this man protected on the opposite end. It's protecting the person that's working. So, but they're both learning. Because then, think about this man that's coming in a low state. Let's say he gets to this high position that this man is to where he can hire somebody, right? He got to be able to deal the same way. But he'll learn that from having working for this individual here. And he'll be able to deal the same way, justly with the individuals that work for him. So we're learning about this being just in this moment right here. So read that verse one more time.
Tobit chapter 4 and verse 6. For if thou deal truly, thy doings shall prosperously succeed to thee.
And that's the key part. The first few words in that verse is the key part. Dealing truly. You dealing with you being kind out of a pure heart, right? You dealing with your brother the correct way, not like a beast, not like shiesty, right? Because it makes you sneaky. Because if you do the opposite, it just makes you sneaky, makes you a deceiver, makes you a thief, makes you a adulteress, it makes you all these different things. But if you just deal truly and purely, your spirit is not going to be tainted. Read.
And to all them that live justly.
Right, and that's the key point. This is a moment of teaching you how to deal justly. Because we don't know how to do that. We really don't know how to deal justly. We be getting angry. Like somebody step on your shoes, you want to fight, kill them. Right? Somebody did you wrong. Somebody did you an offense. You don't know how to forgive them. Oh, I can't stand this person. I can't stand the sight of this brother. I can't stand the sight of this sister. Right? And you never learn how to get past that moment. The Most High teaches us how to get past moments and how to prevent moments. And this is what this is, how to prevent a moment. So if we follow this step, we ain't got to worry about the steps that come after to where an offense comes. Right. But we're going to jump back.
Exodus chapter 21 and verse 4. If his master have given him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her master, and he shall go out by himself.
Well, in this sense, what it is that this is something that he gave him, right? It's like with us with the Most High. With perfect example, we was just talking about too. Samuel. When you look at the priest Samuel, what did his mother do with him? The Lord gave her something, she gave him up. Right, this person, when you look at it in this sense, what the Most High is telling us, he gave you something, right? Because think about it, this man's means of being able to run his household. This was his master's means of running his household. Oh, this woman, she served the purpose in that house, right? She served the purpose in that house, but then now she's given to him. She's being given. It's like, just keep it plain, right? It's like, let's say you have a daughter. You marry your daughter off, but your daughter did a lot of work around the house, right? Yeah. Your daughter did a lot of work around the house. She's basically profitable in your house. But then now you give her to this man that's working. Let's say you give her to this man that's working in his house, right? As a servant, right? Then now she's with him. She's not in your house no more. So now that what? There's a gap that needs to be filled in your home. And so that's what's going on right here. The gap is being filled. So he's not being taken advantage of. And so basically the Most High is protecting both of them, right? If this man came in with something, he can't be taken from him. But then now the master is giving you something. Now you can't diminish what the master is giving you. You see, because he's helping you. I'm giving you something, but don't abuse my kindness. You know, when people abuse your kindness in the world, this is this situation to prevent that. You get it? Okay, I just look at it like you're confused. Okay. Well, I want you to read that one more time then.
Verse 4. If his master gave him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters.
So the master's giving him a wife, right? Read.
The wife and her children shall be her master, and he shall go out by himself.
Hold on. She has borne him sons. If a wife give him a wife, if his master gives him a wife, and she has borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her masters. All those, yeah.
Just like you said, you got to think about it in the mind state that we were in back then. Not like, unfortunately, how our children are today, where they complain about doing chores, or they act like they do chores. These were children brought up to add on to the household. So that was a value to the master. So just like you said, so if I gave you something and now we became profitable,
right,
how do you show me thanks?
Right.
By taking them away. If the master gave him the wife, if him and that woman stayed together and no children came from that,
right,
okay, see you later. Take the wife. God bless you.
Right.
but now y'all became fruitful.
Mm.
And you're still in my household, and you're helping my household, but you're gonna take that from me.
Right.
That's not hospitality. That's not equality.
Right. So basically, it's so that now the Most High is protecting that master, so that his livelihood isn't sucked dry, to where he becomes poor. Now he's struggling because why? He gave something, but this person is dealt justly with him, as he gave out of kindness.
Right. And don't think about it like the masters when that we had here in the 1700s and the 1800s. This was a Israelite brother who was helping out another Israelite brother that was down in his luck. So he was in a financial bind and said, brother, I need your help. I'll work for you for 6 years, 7 years. And in that time, he still was dealing with him like a brother. It wasn't like the slavery seen during the transatlantic slave trade.
Right.
So when you see that word master, don't get confused with what Esau showed us and did to our people.
Right, and that as well. Good point. Yeah, so when they say master, it's not saying like a slave master.
Right.
Yeah, it's not using it according to the English logic, the American logic. It's using it according to the biblical, which is teacher, master, teacher, guide, right? So it's not in that sense of slave. So, but if y'all have any questions on anything, just ask. All right. So that's it, everybody. But go on, AC.
Verse 5. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free.
And now this servant has this choice. If he wants to stay, right, or if he wants to go. Right? But in this moment, this servant is saying he wants to stay. He's saying, I'm not going to go out free, read.
Then his master shall bring him unto the judges.
I like that. That's powerful right there, because it's a balance. So, we'll go to I like that one. Go to Proverbs 15. That one. Because it just brought this one. We go through this one all the time, but it brings it full circle. It pulls out the picture. It pulls the picture out of the frame. Proverbs 15 and 22.
Come
About talking.
on.
Oh, go ahead.
Come on. Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 22. Without counsel, purpose are disappointed.
So both the master's like, okay, I'm considering you don't want to leave. This man doesn't want to leave. And the master's considering it, but what are they doing? They're understanding that the master's understanding that without counsel, purposes are disappointed. So okay, I mean, it don't seem wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with, actually just keeping them in the house. It's in the book, it's in the law. He wants to stay, let him stay. But I'm gonna do what? I'm not gonna just do things off of my own mind. So I'm not just moving all willy-nilly, right? I'm actually calculating my steps. Right? I'm making a wise decision because my decision can not only affect me, but it can affect my family. My decision can not only affect me, but it can affect people in my town, my village, right? My community. And in this time period, right? In my body, in the body. And what's so dope about that is that he sat there and he actually applied this verse that we read in Proverbs. Without counsel, purposes or what?
Disappointed.
So he understood that. The master understood that. So what did he have to do?
But in the multitude of counselors,
Where you at?
Proverbs chapter 15.
Hold on. Pause where you at. I want to say where you were here. It said the multitude of what?
In the multitude of counselors, they are established.
Where you at, though?
Then his master shall bring him unto the judges.
And that's what the master was applying. He was applying in the multitude of counselors that is safety. That's what the master was applying. Read that one more time.
Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 22. Without counsel, purposes are disappointed. But in the multitude of counselors, they are established.
Right, so it's established in that multitude of counselors. So he was making a wise decision to not just make he wasn't trying to be rash. His master wasn't trying to be rash, so he understood that he had to go to the council, to the judges, the wise men, so that they consider. Because you got to consider the compass of the character of you got to think about the servant. What does he do? Is he diligent? Is he mediocre? like he's considering all the different factors of like, okay, is this beneficial for me to have this man stay in my household, right? And continue along with me because he doesn't want to leave. He wants to stay. He wants to stay and be a benefit. But let me go to the tribune and actually get the help to see if I'm thinking the right way. So now you can drop down. Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 21 and verse 6. Then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through.
Hold on. Board. Just look at the word board. Board is ear.
Yeah, it's talking about putting a hole. You're gonna put a hole, you're putting a hole in his ear, right? So you make a hole in his ear. Go ahead.
Then thou shalt bore, his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking he was about to expound on the part about the judges, but he just went into basically the servant was okay with it. He went took him to the judges. The judges was like, okay. And now what they're doing is they're putting that, like I said, that hole in the ear.
Yeah,
Like
it's
to say that he's like,
it's an earring.
yeah, yeah,
It's a form of okay, I'm gonna serve you.
right. Okay, yeah. Yep. Read that one more time, Aisha.
Exodus chapter 21 and verse 6. Then his master shall bring him unto the judges.
Right, so he's bringing him to the counselors, the multitude of counselors, to make sure his mind is right and how he's about to move forward with his servant. Read.
He shall also bring him to the door, or unto the door post.
So the servant went with him, basically. The servant went with him to the judges. Read.
And his master shall bore his ear through with an awl.
Right, so basically he got the ear piercing. He basically got an ear piercing, and now he got the earring. Read.
And he shall serve him forever.
Right, now he's gonna serve him forever. So now he made that decision to be like, yeah, he's gonna stay. It's fine. But the judge is like, okay, it's fine. Yeah, nothing wrong with him staying. I mean, I don't see what's wrong with him. He's diligent. I mean, you trusted him enough to give him a family, so he must be diligent, you know. So why not? So that was basically what was going on in this moment right here. And we're seeing that we don't make slaves. He's not a slave. Right. So in him giving that earring is to say like, this is my servant. He wants to stay with me. That's all that is. It's symbolic to him wanting to stay with him. It was willing. It was so people. When you think about why that's so important that they did that, is because people are suspicious. People are suspicious and they misinterpret situations and they assume a lot. And because people misinterpret, assume, and they're suspicious, the Most High had to make it to where they put an earring on to let it be known that no, I'm not taking this person past the years of what the Most High allowed us to do as far as the Hebrew servant. The Most High showing you a symbolic gesture that what? He really want to be here.
Yeah.
Right. And that earring keeps it in the minds of the people. It works like the princes do. The princes keep us in remembrance of the law, but the earring is to keep us in remembrance that this man willingly did it, because people will forget. People are like, did he really?
Right.
Nah, he couldn't have just wanted to be so. Why would somebody want to be somebody's servant?
That's a signature on the Hebrew account.
Right, there it is. He wanted to do it, right? But no, go ahead.
Exodus chapter 21 and verse 7. And if a man sell his daughter to be a maidservant, she shall not go out as the men servants do.
Right.
So
I know sometimes we look at these words and we say, that sell is a harsh word. But remember, English also changes certain of the context, right? So your daughter was going to work off something, right? That's how we got to look at it, right? Because nobody's pimping their daughter.
Right.
I mean, that's how we think when we think sell, right? Like, damn, he's selling his daughter, right? So we got to understand that everything we did in the law, we did in righteousness, right? Keeping the commandments of the Most High. So there had to be a proper spirit behind it. So was this spirit about selling her, or was it about, okay, let's pay off the debt? Was it about pimping her, or let's pay off the debt? You see, go ahead.
21 and verse 8.
Where are you at again?
Exodus chapter 21 and verse 8.
Go ahead.
If she please not her master, who have betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her be redeemed. To sell her unto a strange nation, he shall have no power.
Right. So you couldn't do what? You couldn't just sell her like a slave. Right? You see that? That's what we do with slaves. You would take the slave and sell them off to other nations. That's a hand? Go ahead, sis. Those kids are louder than you, and go ahead. Through the agreement. Everything was always through an agreement. Right? It just said it. What verse are we at?
Verse 8.
Right. Read verse 7.
Verse 7. And if a man sell his daughter to be a maidservant, she shall not go out as the men servants do. If she please not her master.
Right. So you see that? You see how the dad made the agreement, right? This is what was going to be done. But what happened? Go ahead.
If she please not her master, who have betrothed her to himself, then she...
So, and now, first of all, you're going ahead and giving your daughter over, right? And she was supposed to do this work. But what happened? This woman now and you are betrothed, right? Y'all dealing with each other.
Yeah.
So now, what else? How are we going to deal with this? You were just going to go ahead and pass her around? No. You weren't going to do that. You weren't just going to pass her around like that. Go ahead.
Then shall he let her be redeemed.
See, then let her come back to Papa, right? You weren't just going to go ahead and go give her to the other nations or pass her around like that. Right, go on. Go ahead.
To sell her unto a strange nation, he shall have no power.
Right, y'all get that, right? Yeah.
So, I just clicked. So this woman that he was betrothed to, if he didn't like her,
right,
he let her father redeem her.
Right.
Okay.
He could. That's why I said you couldn't just go ahead and give her like to other nations.
I get it.
Right. You could just pass her around.
She had to go back to her father.
She had to go back to her father.
Okay.
Which, in essence, even in marriage, right? Like this is, you have to. You would go back to your family. You wouldn't just be passed around. Right. The point is preventing women to be passed around. Speaking of that, we created a registry, and we're creating one here about with the sisters that come in. So we're going to be having this registry on married couples because there's too many sisters that come through here, bounce on one man, go to another school, bounce on another man. We got to start it. Enough's enough with this. Like, it's getting to the point, and we never needed this in the past because Israel wasn't so big. But now it's to the point to where this is ridiculous. You got sisters just divorcing their husband, separating from their husband, and then going to other schools and laying with other Israelite men. And these other Israelite men don't know. They don't know. Right. So, and a lot of times, I would say 99.9% of the times, the women are going over there telling one side of the story. And unfortunately, a lot of these men haven't been taught how to be proper judges. And they don't inquire, they don't ask, they don't be like, hey, what's really going on? Let's get them both on the phone, let's talk about it. They're not doing that. What they're doing is already assuming off of her emotions. So we got to create that registry so this won't happen. You're just not passing women around. Right? It's like damn Hollyweird. right? Yeah. So some sisters are doing it intentional, and some sisters are doing it not intentional, right? So go ahead.
To sell her unto a strange nation, he shall have no power, seeing he hath dealt deceitfully with her. And if
So right there gives you a little sub idea what this man's intentions were. So now we're understanding that his intentions were like this. I didn't say it, it said it, right? So his intentions weren't right. Right? Because really, man, you were supposed to what? Keep that woman. Right? You're supposed to deal with her. But we know laws like this is for who? The laws for who? The laws for the lawless. Like when it's not natural in you and not natural affection, what do you have to have? You have to have rules. Because our people don't have natural affection. You know what I mean? Especially living amongst the Gentiles. Living amongst the nations and learning their ways. We lost our natural affection and love one for another, one for our people. So now you got to have the rules to remind you, hey, don't do this. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And if he have betrothed her unto his son, he shall deal with her after the manner of daughters.
Right, you see that? See, you could just deal with the Israelite women anyway. There had to be respect. So, you see why we got to go over these things? Because when you deal with the Egyptian community, these cats, these cats that love the Africans, right? You find out that they try to use that. Oh, how you treat your women. Look at your laws. You err not knowing the scripture, bro. You know what I mean? You err not knowing it. Like every step of the way, it tells you to respect the Israelite women. Right? How to treat them. Right? How we're going to cherish them. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 10. If he take him another wife.
If he take him a what?
Another wife.
You see, this is the problem. Okay? And I'm going to address Israel United because they changed what was originally taught. Right? So I talked to a young cat on the phone the other day. He wanted to come to the Passover. And I said, well, why you ain't go to Passover with Israel United? Well, they charge too much. And you can't get to the Passover. I said, okay. I said, we welcome our brothers and everything. So we got into this conversation. And the scripture he took me to, which he didn't break it down enough. The scripture he took me to about the king. Getting more gold and more women and more things. But the law literally right here says what? You see, the Bible, is the law done away with? This is how we got to start talking to Israelites. Is the law done away with? Can we eat pork? Can we eat shrimp, crab, and lobster? Okay. So what the law says here, what? If he what?
If he take him another wife.
Go ahead.
Her food.
Wait a minute. So what is it telling us? Why didn't it just say if he take another wife, that's unlawful? If he take her another wife, kill him. What? I did a 8-year-old video. And what I said was, I can see why Israel United is telling brothers, no, y'all can't have more than one wife. This was before they literally changed the actual word. Right? And I got to address this like this because we got Israel that don't get it, that they were taught the right way, but then went in and changed based off. They didn't want their young men going out to have sex and deal with all these women, which is correct. But that's not the way you do it by changing the word. You don't say, oh, you know what? It's unlawful. Because the brother that brought it to me, he was like, no, that's unlawful. It's not unlawful. Like, if that was the case, then why the law just say, if he take her another wife, right? It don't say kill him, put him to death. He's wicked. He's off. It says what? You're going to still assume your responsibilities. right? And that's why when you go through the scriptures, a man can have more than one woman, and the priests, Solomon, David, all these men, right? And Jacob, all these men that dealt with more than one woman. It's important to understand that I get where Israel United was in the beginning, but when they changed the doctrine, that's wrong. You don't take away from the words of the Bible and add unto. You don't supposed to do that. You could have just said like we say. Look, the scripture says that if you're going to be a bishop, focus on one woman, right? Focus on your first wife. Leave it like that. Instead of saying no, now you got these men thinking that the law is null and void. That's just like the Christians saying what? You can eat pork. Oh, that law is not applicable. Right? We're not to do that. You know what I mean? All we got to do is, we don't got to take away or add unto. All we got to do is go through the scriptures and give the balance. If he had just said, yeah, we know what the scriptures say, but when y'all come in here, if you're going to come in this camp, you're going to deal with one woman. If he just said it like that, it would have been easier. But they changed it. Now they got people thinking, now you got argument over this. Well, there's no argument. The law says what it says, just like it says, don't eat pork. Right? It says what it says. It's only an argument with the young minds that don't read the scriptures. So when they come in, they're like, oh, you're doing something against what I was shown. But you never read. The problem is, brother, you never sat down and read the Bible. And therefore, you don't know that it's not unlawful.
Right.
Y'all see that? So, it's you don't need to change the scriptures. Just tell the brothers. Listen, Akim, that right now, all things are lawful, but not expedient. Leave it just like that.
There you go.
You see that? Go ahead.
Verse 10.
Uh-huh.
If he take him another wife.
So this is the law on taking another woman, right? Getting two wives, right? Read.
Her food, her raiment,
right?
And her duty of marriage,
right?
Shall he not diminish?
Right. So now we get the understanding what this means in Deuteronomy 17 and 17. Okay, Hebrew Israelites. Does the Bible contradict itself?
Wow.
Okay, then when it says here that if he get him a wife, right, that her duties, the second woman, is not supposed to diminish. Well, then that means that Deuteronomy 17 and 17 we're reading wrong. They're using that wrong when it says he doesn't supposed to accumulate. That's like saying, AI, you got too many, go there real quick. Let's go there for Christian so he can understand. Go to Deuteronomy 17 and 17. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 17.
Go ahead.
Neither shall he multiply wives to himself.
No, read up. Read up a little bit so we can know what we're talking about. Go ahead.
Verse 15?
Yeah.
Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee.
Right.
Whom the Most High thy power shall choose.
Right. So it's telling you how to choose a king. And it's going to give us the parameters how a king's supposed to deal. Go ahead.
One from among thy brethren.
Right. So we weren't supposed to choose any other nation. So no, we don't vote. We don't vote for Trump or these other nations.
Obama.
Right? Obama, whatever. Go ahead.
Thou shalt set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee.
Right. No heathens. Right? And then these men that are not doing the will of the Most High, obviously, why would we set a wicked king over us?
Right.
So you're like, well, he's an Israelite, so we vote. No. Because is this Israelite king in Israelite mind, or is he in Gentile state of mind?
Right.
Right? Like, why would I vote for a dark-skinned president, a Latino president, when all they're going to do is go in and go off the parameters of this kingdom? They're not going to go in and do like when Esther and Mordecai was up before the king. Right? When Daniel was up before the king. These cats looked out for us. That's the way you come up in that stead and then you take over.
Right.
Right? They're not going to do that. So why would we vote for that king? Go ahead, read on.
Which is not thy brother.
Right.
Verse 16.
Uh-huh.
But he shall not multiply horses to himself.
Right.
Nor cause the people to return to Egypt.
You see that? He would not to multiply what?
Horses to himself.
That's how you show you. Brothers, y'all got to study. I get it. Y'all come in and you learning. But you eventually got to read yourself, huh? Jesus Christ. Because if we're going off of this, okay, brother, how many horses you got? 2 is too many. Ideally, that's what it's saying. That's what they're saying it means, right? More than one horse is unlawful. Go back, as their context is they're saying, well, you have more than one woman, it's unlawful, right? Based on this, right? Well, then that would mean that more than one horse is unlawful. Right? That would mean that when it says David had all these horses and Solomon had all these horses, they would be wrong in that too. So the Most High is just lifting up wicked kings. I'm just showing you how ridiculous, man, is what happens when you don't read. That's all I'm saying, is that it be so simple. Go ahead.
Nor cause the people to return to Egypt.
Okay, when are you youngling? Oh, does it see it over there? All right. I didn't know. No, that was for Eric. Eric, is that?
That's Asa.
That's who? Oh, you're still gonna need a seat right there, and you got the young buck can get up for those old legs. You know what I mean? Go ahead,
Come. We have verse Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 16, middle of the scripture.
You got it? You got it working? Huh? And listen, everyone, we're going to go offline real quick. We finally got the computer working. We're going to get off the cell phone. All right? So we can add the scriptures and all that stuff. So, hold on a second. We're going to repeat right back on. All right? What did it take? Just to update?